Guys, we have a section called Aligrams. I go and find some messages that are indicative of the regime supporters who are currently in Iran, and then I show these to you guys so that we can see what they're thinking. Here's our first one. We'll translate this one into English for you guys. And it says, is it okay for Muslims to be genocided by China? Referring to the Uyghurs. Is it okay for Muslims to be killed by each other? Is it okay for Muslims to be killed by their own people? Or is it a crime for Muslims to be killed only by Israel and America? Be human. Anti-West, anti-US, anti-Israel. And this is true. Muslims don't care when Muslims kill Muslims, or even when China kills Muslims. They care when Israel and the United States kill Muslims. That is our first one by the regime supporters. And our second one is here. It's a little bit drawn out. Let's translate this and see if this is an accurate translation on this extension that I have. Yeah. All right, perfect. This is a regime supporter that's attacking their own government. And when I say government, they mean like the current 4-year presidency government. These people are ignorant and will die ignorant. They'll be ignorant to the end. They don't understand that poverty in society is worse than war. Poverty causes all kinds of corruption. Let them understand in a few years what's wrong, and then they won't be able to do anything about it at that time. So this regime supporter does believe that they will survive for a few years down the line. No, no, no. I don't think so at all. Maximum, you guys have 2 years. But more and more people in the Islamic Republic are waking up to the fact that their own government is incredibly corrupt. They're waking up to the fact that, hey, if prices are suddenly increasing right now, maybe it wasn't just a result of the war with the United States. It might also be because our government sucks. One of the key things that I saw them talking about in their discussions was that we spend all this money for Lebanon proxies and Iraqi proxies and nuclear programs and all this. We actually have nothing to show for it. We lost our nuclear program. That was about $2 trillion. We lost a lot of our proxies. Hezbollah is getting hammered, especially over the last couple of nights where Hezbollah is getting hit. They're talking about it again. And they're being like, wait, if our government spent all this money, maybe it's our government's fault. They're reaching level 1 of consciousness. Level 2 would be them realizing that it's not just their government in the Islamic Republic, it's their ideology.
It's
We'll see if
themselves.
they get there. Yeah.
No,
Yes.
level 3 would be, this is my fault. I chanted death to America. I chanted death to Israel. I did this to me. That would be level 3.
Yeah. They're still on level 1. But hey, they got to level 1. They got to level 1. Oh, man. And then we have another person saying, in response to one of the regime supporters saying, a bit more brainwashed, he said, there's no such thing as selling out one's homeland. Completely retarded take. This person says, I agree. But when you degrade a country that was the first leading economy in the region back in 1978, when you degrade Iran and you compare it to countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh, and the ones who decide the fate of the Iranian people are the leaders of the countries in the region and not the leaders of Iran, then you realize that we have the most traitorous government in Iranian history, a government that only thinks about its own survival at any cost. What they're meaning here is that we are just as poor as Pakistan and Bangladesh at the moment. We had the first leading economy in the Middle East. Now we're like Pakistan, Bangladesh. Other leaders like Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, or Trump will decide the fate of Iran. Even we can't. And this government will survive at any cost. If it gives up parts of Iran, that's okay. If it kills its own people, that's okay. It just needs to stay alive. And our next one here, which says, someone said, the people don't care what American officials say. This person responds to that, saying, I completely agree with you. All of this is propaganda, especially by creating an imaginary enemy and stirring up people's emotions. Ukraine and Russia have been at war for 4 years, but their inflation is 6 to 7%. Our internal problems are plunder. Our system is kleptocracy. What's kleptocracy? Could you explain that to us? What is the Islamic Republic economic system here? Why is it?
Isn't that when the corrupt rule?
Yeah.
When the people that, yeah.
And just hoard all their money, yeah.
Yes.
They're all figuring this out. They're comparing themselves to other countries. They're comparing themselves to Pakistan, Bangladesh, Russia, Ukraine, who have been in active war. 30,000 people die a month. Their inflation is 6-7%. Why is the inflation in Iran 90%? That's why they say it's not because of war, it's because of other problems that we had. War should cost 6-7. 6-7.
Oh my God. Okay. Ali, you too? No. Oh,
they're
no.
saying it.
Ali,
Their inflation is 6 to 7%. I'm not. It's not me.
Ali, why you were the chosen one? How could you do this?
So as of the past few days, the regime supporters are pointing fingers at their government more than anything else. As someone who's been reading these for months, it used to be pointing fingers at people like me and Armin, people who live outside of Iran, who want the Iranian people to be free. They're like, you're the problem. Then they pointed at the Iranian people themselves because there's more internal division within Iran. Now they're pointing fingers at their own government, at their own Islamic Republic. That's the stage that we've arrived at. And it was natural. It was going to get to this point. We told you guys it would get to this point. This is, by the way, going to get much, much worse as we head into fall and winter, when economic hardships become multiple times more difficult, when the blockade takes more of effect, when Scott Bessent this week is going to roll out the most amount of economic isolation that has ever been done in history to a certain country. Our next one is the Islamic Republic State Media channel reported that the United States Energy Secretary Chris Wright is reporting that the U.S. has controlled the Strait of Hormuz and that we're exporting 15 million barrels a day out of the region of the Middle East, which is 75% of the pre-war capacity. 20 million before the war, 15 million now. And this regime supporter says, wait, the Americans might be right. It seems they're right. Every night, a lot of ships pass by in the Strait of Hormuz, and we don't hit them like before. Except for 1 out of 100 ships, we hit them. A few nights ago, Farce, which is the Islamic Republic State Media, wrote about a whole bunch of Saudi oil tankers heading towards the Strait of Hormuz. But then after that, there was no news that we hit at least one of them. This is true. These Saudi tankers did enter under the protection of the United States military and were not hit. The UAE ships were hit, about 1 a night. The regime supporters are also aware of this. This was something that they were aware of before. This is something that they're still aware of now. I don't see an increase or a decrease in this. They're the same awareness level of that they don't have control of the Strait of Hormuz. The ships that they are hitting are just not enough to cause oil prices to go up. And then we also have another person talking about this as well. This regime supporter is saying that ship transit statistics, you can see how many ships have been going through the Strait of Hormuz. You can see them anywhere. Just go to the Kepler Institute. You can look them up online. Go search to find out the truth. It's very simple. If ships aren't passing, then why aren't gasoline prices going down? Well, what they're trying to say is that if ships are not passing, then how come gasoline prices aren't going up? If ships are passing, gasoline prices come down. If ships aren't passing, gasoline prices go up. Why is it? Go look for the truth yourself, because the Islamic Republic is not showing that. In fact, they are not. This has been a hot topic among the regime supporters. Why do we have to go to foreign media to find out the truth? Why is our own media not telling us the truth? Yeah, so exactly. Their own leaders are lying to them. They're pretty privy to this fact at the moment. Something that I would like to see increase, and that is our Aligram section. It's pretty standard. We've seen these things before. We're also seeing them not slow down at all. Yeah.
I think like these Aligrams are so revealing of what the current mood is among, people that might be closer to the regime. It's really
Yeah.
good. Like I think you have found one of the most effective ways of figuring out what's going on.
That's good. Yeah, I'm glad you guys like it.
Literally nobody else does this, not on the Persian side or English side. Like this deep dive that you do.
Yeah, and I get it, right? Because they'll be like, "Oh, it's anecdotal," and that's right. But I do take a look at hundreds, if not thousands, of messages, and then I grab the ones that um, are the most indicative. I say this indicative of their mood. If I just see one person saying this one-off thing, I'll be like, okay, well, that's just one person. If I show them that it's not going to, whatever, right? But if I see 10, 20, 30 people over the course of a couple days saying this, I'll be like, okay, that's at least something that if 30 people had the time to come and write this point, other regime supporters are also thinking it.
Well, Ali, I know is pretty, reflective of the mood there, because for the Persian channel, I cover what social media, videos, and state media and regime supporters accounts are saying. So that's what I do for the Persian side, and the things that you cover on Telegram is based on what I'm saying, a good reflection on that as well. So the fact that they match shows that you're doing a good job at figuring out which comments to highlight.
Sweet. I didn't know that. That's good. Yeah, and I sent you the ones from yesterday.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's good that I have them in case I keep them in my back pocket in case somebody on the Persian channel says like nobody says that. I'm like, I'll pull them over.
Yeah.
I give you credit, by the way, when I show them.
Oh, thank you. You don't have to do that. I just want them to know that is happening.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.